The question is, do the people we're talking to understand what I'm talking about? I've been in the military as a support person. I've never been a combat troop walking down the streets of Iraq and Afghanistan, but I've been in the theater. I know that war is a terrible thing. It takes the lives of people at the prime of their life, and when you talk about war, you should never talk about it with a smile on your face. But I do know this, that sometimes it's better to go to war than it is to allow the Holocaust to develop a second time. It is not lost upon me what would happen if military force had to be used against Iran. I hope and pray that is not the option that we have to seek. I hope and pray that other options will work. But as Barry indicated, time is not on our side. Here's the question for this group. Is this the last AIPAC meeting before Iran has a nuclear weapon? 14 months from now, we meet again. I don't know the answer to that question, but I do know this. Time, ladies and gentlemen, is not on our side. It is not fair to put this ally of ours, the State of Israel, its prime minister and its government on both sides of the aisle under the burden of having to deal with this issue alone. That's not good for the world. It's not good for Israel. And I'm often asked, would a military strike as the last option be effective against the Iranian nuclear threat? My belief is a military strike stopping the Iranian government from having a nuclear weapon is more effective than trying to deal with the Iranian government after they have one. And if military force is ever employed, it should be done in a decisive fashion. The Iranian government's ability to wage conventional warfare against its neighbors and our troops in the region should not exist. They should not have one plane that can fly or one ship that can float. We have time, but time is not on our side. The UN Security Council has an opportunity to act. I hope and pray they do. Russia and China has a chance to change the course of history. Hope they will understand that a nuclear-armed Iran is just as much a threat to them as it is us or Israel or any other tolerant person or group. Ladies and gentlemen, these are consequential times. This is the time to show determination and resolve in the face of extremism. We are at war as a nation. September 11th, 2001, everything changed about our country. We're almost 9 years down the road, and some of us, I think, have gotten too short of a memory. We're at war, and we have to fight this war within our values. President Barack Obama is my president. I am here to say tonight I stand by him. I stood by him in Afghanistan. I will stand by him as he draws our troops down in Iraq in a responsible way. And if it ever comes necessary to use military force or any other strong engagement tactic against Iran, I will stand by my president, and I ask you to stand by him. I ask you to pray for him. I have a lot of differences with President Obama, but can you imagine being President of the United States in these times? This man has a very hard job. We can have our fusses and we can have our fights, and this week on health care, we're going to have a hell of a fight. But when it comes to national security, no Democrat in this room is my enemy. You're my opponent on the political battlefield, but you're my brother and you're my sister. We're all Americans. I can promise you one thing, that the people we fight in faraway places with strange-sounding names could really care less the political differences between Chuck Schumer and Lindsey Graham. They hate us both equally. Many of you may be that way. But our enemy doesn't distinguish between our political differences. They hate us because we will accept differences. They hate us because we will allow on the streets of South Carolina a mosque, a synagogue, and a Baptist church. That we will stand up for each other. They hate us more than they love life. Ladies and gentlemen, people asked Ronald Reagan, how does the Cold War end? He said, we win, they lose. How does the war on terror end? We win, they lose. And when I say we, I mean moderate Muslims who have been slaughtered by al-Qaeda and Islamic extremists. No group has suffered more than people in the Muslim world trying to be tolerant. By we, I mean Jews and Gentiles, Buddhists, agnostic, vegetarians, you name it. I mean anybody that believes in tolerance and support for their fellow man. One last thought. This is 2010, and we're wondering what to do with a country whose president denies the Holocaust. We do what we have to do to make sure there is no second Holocaust. Ladies and gentlemen, we gather tonight with one simple message, and never let it be misunderstood by the enemies that we commonly face. Our message tonight to the world, to the people in Israel, to the young men and women serving overseas on our behalf: never again. God bless you. God bless the people of Israel. God bless the United States. God bless all those who believe in peace and tolerance.